What if I told you there's a specific vitality point on your partner's body that houses more nerve endings than any other area, yet a staggering 82% of women feel their partners are missing the mark when it comes to locating and honoring it? Hello, gentlemen. I'm Dr. Christine Rodriguez, and welcome back to the Men's Vitality Hub. As a specialist in longevity and sexual wellness, I've spent over a decade helping men over 45 navigate the delicate landscape of aging and intimacy. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on the female pleasure matrix, revealing the single most important neurological hub on the female body, and no, it isn't the G-spot. We're going to discuss the clinical anatomy of the clitoris, an organ with over 10,000 nerve endings that most men treat like a simple button, when in reality, it is a complex internal power grid. Stay with me, because toward the end, I'll reveal the rolling wave technique that prevents overstimulation, and I'll walk you through why 75% of women say intimacy feels incomplete if you stop this one specific movement during penetration. To understand why this matters, we have to address the sensory gap. Imagine your partner's nervous system as a high-fidelity sound system. In our 20s, we might have gotten away with cranking the volume and rushing the process, but for women over 45, the biological bandwidth changes. Blood flow to the pelvic region becomes more deliberate and requires a specific kind of ignition. In the medical world, we often see men who are frustrated that their partners aren't initiating enough. The hidden risk here isn't a lack of desire, it's a lack of targeted blood flow. When you understand that the external part of the clitoris, the part most men focus on, is only about 10% of the actual organ, you realize you've been trying to drive a car while only touching the hood ornament. The rest of this structure wraps internally around the vaginal canal. By learning to stimulate the entire network, you're essentially lighting up her entire pelvic floor. This isn't a lecture. It's a blueprint for a deeper emotional and physical bond. Still with me? That shows you're serious about your vitality and ready to look at the ignition phase. The first mistake most men make is what I call the lottery ticket scratch. Imagine this. You walk into a cold room and someone immediately starts rubbing a sensitive part of your body with firm, fast pressure. It doesn't feel good. It feels like an alarm clock going off in your ear. The clitoris is incredibly sensitive because it has double the nerve density of the entire penis. When a woman isn't yet fully aroused, direct, firm contact can actually be painful, a condition we call clitoral hypersensitivity. The biological why is simple. Her body hasn't sent enough blood to the area to cushion the nerve endings yet. I recommend starting with the halo technique. Stroke the inner thighs, the pubic mound, and the outer labia first. You're essentially calling the blood to the surface. Research from the archives of sexual behavior shows that women who receive indirect stimulation for at least 10 minutes report significantly higher levels of satisfaction and natural lubrication. By building anticipation, you're allowing her nervous system to opt into the experience. Now, let's talk about the hydraulic shift. One of the biggest retention killers in a long-term relationship is the drop-off. This happens the moment penetration begins. Many men believe that once they've started the engine with foreplay, they can take their hands off the wheel. But here's the micro cliffhanger. 82% of women cannot reach climax through penetration alone. If you stop clitoral stimulation the moment you enter, you are effectively cutting the power lines just as the lights were starting to flicker on. Biologically, the vaginal canal has far fewer nerve endings than the clitoral network. To bridge this gap, you must maintain what I call dual-track engagement, whether it's your hand, her hand, or a specific pelvic tilt that maintains friction. The goal is to keep that 10,000 nerve ending hub active. When you do this, you create a summation effect, where the internal and external sensations combine to create a much more profound full-body response. Still with me? This shows you're dedicated to being a master of your own biology and a better partner. Let's look at the long-term hormonal shield. Intimacy isn't just about the moment, it's about the neurochemical afterglow. When a woman experiences a high-quality climax driven by proper clitoral engagement, her brain releases a massive surge of oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and prolactin. For men over 50, this is your secret weapon for relationship longevity. Oxytocin lowers cortisol, the stress hormone that wrecks your own testosterone levels. By prioritizing her pleasure, you are literally creating a lower stress environment that helps your hormonal health. A man's greatest strength is his ability to nurture his partner's joy. When the pleasure matrix is fully activated, it creates a feedback loop of intimacy that makes initiating a natural, daily occurrence rather than a chore. Imagine your life 3 months from today. You've moved past the guessing game and the silent frustrations. You've implemented the rhythmic consistency protocol, where you focus on steady, light pressure rather than speed. You've noticed that your partner is more present, more vocal, and more eager to connect because she feels seen on a biological level. This is the goal of the Men's Vitality Hub, to give you the clinical how-to so you can lead with confidence. If this deep dive into the vitality point has opened your eyes, I want you to do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe to our brotherhood here at Men's Vitality Hub. We focus on the science-backed secrets of masculine longevity and relationship health that you won't hear anywhere else. I want to hear from you in the comments. Did you know that 90% of the clitoris is actually hidden internally? Drop a comment below. I read every single one to help me tailor our next session to your needs. True intimacy is a dialogue spoken in the language of touch. Before we wrap up, we have to address the pressure gradient. I often tell my patients, touch her like you're touching your own eyeball. That might sound extreme, but it reminds you that the tip of the finger can be very sharp and localized. Use the flat of your finger or your thumb to distribute the pressure. This avoids nerve fatigue, where the area becomes numb because the stimulation was too intense for too long. If you notice her hips moving away or her body tensing, you've hit the limit of her sensory ceiling. Back off, return to the inner thighs, and start the halo again. This mini reset shows her you are paying attention to her body's subtle signals, which is the ultimate aphrodisiac for a woman over 45. Finally, remember that communication is your most powerful tool. Does this rhythm work for you? Or, should I stay right here? Are not signs of weakness, they are signs of a man who is a master of his craft. As we age, our bodies require more calibration. By leading the conversation, you remove the guesswork and the performance anxiety for both of you. I'm Dr. Christine Rodriguez, and I'll see you in the next session to continue reclaiming your power, mastering your biology, and building a legacy of health and connection. Take care of her, and your body will thank you.